Hi, I'm Nicola.
And I'm Jay Percy.
And welcome to the Afro Animist Podcast.
We are two animists and spiritual practitioners exploring the secular through the spiritual, discussing life experiences through a sacred lens.
Each week we share our experiences and dive deep into everything in life, from philosophy, metaphysics, obeah, occultism, shamanism, culture, healing, nature, animism,
the arts, pop culture, conspiracies, psychedelics and witchcraft. Nothing is off the table in these discussions, which aim to get to the heart of what it means to be spiritual and Afro-diasporic in an increasingly sterile and authoritarian world.
We keep it real whilst exploring the biggest mysteries of our multiverse. Join us holding this space to laugh, cry, debate, build community and tear down oppressive structures. Welcome, dear listener, to this week's episode of the Afro Animist Podcast. I am Nicola Roth.
And I'm Jay Percy. And today we have a fabulous guest. Nicola, would you like to introduce her?
I will. So we have today with us Aisha, Shehu and Ansel of Maison, Shehu. And I'm so sorry for my English accent, Aisha. So please correct me for my terrible pronunciation.
You've done very well.
Oh, thanks. All right, well, I've just got started, so there's still time yet. So Aisha was born in Lyon, France, and she was raised in Kano, Nigeria, in a multicultural household and community until the age of 13, eventually moving and settling in the UK in 2003. Her background lies in languages and translation, which she studied at university both in France and in the UK. Art, however, is her first love and has always been in the background. In 2021, following a collaborative project with publishing house Folga Press, Maison Shehu was founded as an ode to art in all its forms, a celebration of life lived with purpose, the embodiment of magical and sacred practices inspired by her heritage and ancestry. Gosh, I love that so much.
Thank you. I literally pulled it out, of the air and onto the screen. I thought, oh my gosh, okay.
You're divinely inspired.
Absolutely.
And that's so beautiful. So what spiritual traditions do you practice? How would you spiritually identify?
Oh gosh, it's quite a complicated question for me to answer because I'm quite, I wouldn't say closed off, but I like to be private and mysterious, as far as my personal practices or private life in general. But I think it's an important and interesting question to ask because I've been on quite the journey, I guess, from childhood up until, today. Because my family was almost operating on this binary system, my dad was African and black, my mum was white and French, my dad was from a Muslim family, my mum was from a Catholic family. So everywhere I looked, everything was sort of split into two almost, and even geographically, because I was born in France, raised in Kano, went back to France. So there was always like this split in the middle, and it affected pretty much every level, in domestic life. Not that it was a problem or that I was, affected negatively about it, but when you start digging a little deeper and you start growing up, you kind of wonder, well, where do I fit really? Because on the fence is not really a comfortable position to be in, And identity, obviously, in the last decade or so has been a very hot topic, sexuality, gender, etc., and spiritual practice, whether it's religion or something a bit more pagan-y, if we can put it that way. So, I think I've been through pretty much everything. I started off as, nothing really. And then I read, I remember age 13, which is when I moved to France, I read it was a book called the Old Testament written for kids kind of thing.
And I love those.
Yeah, I just picked the book. I was an avid reader as a child. And I thought, I'll read that. And it traumatized me so badly I decided there and then, no, I'm an atheist. That's it. I'm not going anywhere, religion, spirituality, I'm done. Of course, when you're a teenager, you know better than everybody, don't you? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then I thought, no, actually, no, there's something out there. There's a cosmic energy. And maybe I'm more agnostic. And then, you go through life. You start to learn, you're a bit more humble, possibly, in your limitations as far as knowledge of the world is concerned. So today, after everything, everywhere I've been, the people I've met, the friendships I've built in real life and online, I would say it's a blend, like everything else in my life, really. I would say it's a blend of traditional witchcraft, not Wicca. I'll say it's not Wicca. It's older than that, mixed with Hausa paganism, and then it's sprinkled with animism, herbalism, and there are a few little bits that I've picked from Islam and Catholicism, but really cherry picked. Like in Islam, scent is a big thing. Ablutions before you pray are also very important. And as far as the Catholic side is concerned, candles is an absolute obsession. So lighting candles for the dead. That's the bit I've taken from that side of my heritage, I would say. So that's it in a nutshell.
I think it's really lovely that you've been able to find the best bits or the bits that work best within your life and within your spirituality and make practices that make sense to you. I think that can be really important, especially when you're from like a mixed heritage and you're told to do this and be in that binary or do that and be in that binary.
Yeah.
It sounds like you've come to a really beautiful place through all of your time during your exploration.
Yes, it's taken a while, but I'm a great believer that if you let things grow organically, it's a much easier process than to try to force things, because there's a lot of noise, especially now with social media being so prominent in our modern lives, that you feel compelled, to do this because that's what everyone else is doing, or that's the thing that is the thing with a capital T. So you're like, oh, well, maybe this is more important and more relevant. It's like, no, forget about it. Just follow your heart and you'll be fine. It might take a while, but you'll get there. That's what I would recommend to anyone, really.
Yeah, I totally agree with both of you, to be honest. It's like it's such an important thing to find what makes sense for you and not just do what people say you should do, especially I think it's really interesting about growing up in a household mixed Muslim and Catholic. I was brought up in a Catholic household. And yeah, we do love candles, man. It is something about the Catholics. Bit of candles, bit of
Oh, yeah.
incense, and definitely candles is what I've chosen to take, I feel like, from Catholicism. So, sorry, this is a bit off subject. It's not spiritual. I just want to ask you, like, how many languages do you speak? Tell us a bit about, do you still do translation?
I am doing translation at the moment it's for a folder project. So if you want to,
Okay.
we can talk about that later. Yeah. But I
Okay,
still
cool.
do. I was a professional. I'm trained to be a translator. I did my master's in translation 20 odd years ago. But I was a translator, I think, up until 2000 I think until my son was born, 2007, 2008. And then I did something else. It's still in the language industry, but it's more about the business side, account management and looking after people who use translation software, etc., etc. So it's the business side of things. But
Okay.
translation, like art, it just follows me around. It's just a thing. It's always going to be there.
For sure. I just
Except
think
now
it's so,
I do more interesting
sorry.
projects. I would say.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I just think it's an amazing thing. I don't speak any other languages. I'm so English in that way that we are just like rubbish at languages. And to me, I don't know, there's just something, whenever I meet a polyglot, I feel like their brain must work in such a different way to mine. And that's because I read that if you teach a child essentially like two mother tongues, then they will think in a different way, that their neuro pathways will form in a way that other children's won't form. So I don't really know how to describe it, but your way of comprehension is just so much more. So basically, I just think you're amazing. Please
God.
teach me a language.
But it's interesting that you asked me about language, because I speak French, I speak English, I learn Spanish, but I am quite annoyed that I don't speak my father's language, which is Hausa. And I'm still thinking in the back of my head, I must make time and make an effort to. I won't be fluent because I'm not in bathing in that culture, so it makes it quite difficult if you don't have that daily connection. But I've got books. I've bought the books. I've got the app on my phone. So I say, come on, woman, just do it. Just do 10 minutes a day. At least you'll know more than you did 10 minutes earlier. So just do 10 minutes a day for the rest of your life. And eventually, it will be better. But
That's
hey,
but at least
it's just, chucked on the pile of to-do thing to do, on the list. So, yeah.
So at home,
I hope you do learn that.
Yeah, for sure. And at home, did you speak? Did you speak French and English? And they were your languages.
So it was quite funny because again, the demarcation was very, very well marked. So we spoke French at home. We spoke French at school. But when we were out and about, we spoke English, or some kind of English, because everybody was, there was the English community and there was all the expats. So you can imagine the mixture of, grammatical mistakes and quirks and accents and all sorts of things going on. Plus pidgin on top of that. So that was interesting. It was great. It was a fantastic way to grow up, actually. Yeah.
I know a few people who have had similar kind of backgrounds, where they've been able to live in a couple of different countries as children, and then learn the languages and just learn these different cultures. And I think it's I'm not saying there isn't any struggle in that at all, but I just think it's such a beautiful way, actually, especially if you're mixed race, to kind of live and be able to experience. Do you? I want to ask you about Maison Shehu. I would like you just to tell us a bit about that, because in your bio, it's just so interesting to read the reason. That's a celebration of life, like the reason you started this beautiful company. So would you tell our listeners just a little bit about what you do with Maison Shehu, what products you have?
Well, it's very easy. At the moment, I have one product. So it's this one here. I don't know if you can see. So it's Huit Etoiles. It's an oil-based perfume, and it's the first one. Yeah, and I'm very proud of it. I'm completely self-taught as a perfumer. Big fan of perfumes and scents in general.
You should be really proud of it. When we met you at the Magical Women's Conference, and your stand was just there at the door, and as we come in, there's this beautiful artistic photo of yourself in a wheat field, and then it entices you up to this beautiful perfume bottle, and as you smell it, it's just, it's like being taken over by the actual individual elements. It's like you're swimming through those things. I thought it was such a beautiful, beautiful scent. And of course, Nicola managed to pick herself up a bottle, which I'm very jealous. I've told my husband, by the way, this is This is what I want for Christmas.
Does he have the link? Make sure he's got the link. Do you need me to text him?
He does. I gave him your business cards, and I've just left it in a prominent place and was like, this is something I want for Christmas. And our 10-year anniversary is coming up, so you've got choices.
If he doesn't have, look, I might need to do that friend thing where I just make sure he's getting it for you. I'll do that for you. I want to show you.
Well, he listens to this, so this entire section of the...
Hello, listen to us. Buy her what she wants.
Look at that beautiful photo.
How beautiful is this? And there was like a life-size version of this.
Gorgeous.
We were so drawn to you. It was crazy. And we wanted to buy something. We walked in there and we were like, oh my gosh, we're going to spend all the money we ever have in this little place. But there was just a pull to your stall. Like, it was amazing.
You know, going back to your bio saying that art touches everything you do, were you the artistic director behind this beautiful shoot for your brand?
Oh yeah, I was, but I had help from hubby, because he's the one who took the photo with proper camera, and but yeah, I wanted something quite I wanted something outdoors. I wanted something quite soft and organic, but also elegant in the feel, because that's what the perfume, I think, exudes, and I wanted everything else to kind of embody that sentiment. So yeah. So I chose, the outfit, the hair, the little bit of jewelry I had, and just went into the field that's literally around the corner from our house.
Convenient.
It was fun walking barefoot in the fields in February. It was a bit cold, but
Oh wow.
It was good. It was good fun. Yeah.
That is dedication. I just think the imagery on it is so very eye-catching, so beautifully shot. It really captures the soul of the perfume so beautifully. As an artist, it's just something I was just like taken by, really taken by.
Well, I'm very happy to hear that. Yeah. I mean, it's always, we work for ourselves, but also it's nice to know that it touches others, and they notice those things. So thank you very much for that.
100%. Yeah, we love the feedback too, listeners. Just letting you know. I want to show you the box because I literally, okay, so I love nice things. I also love when nice things look really pretty. It makes me want them more. But I just literally can't deal with it. How elegant is that?
It's so elegant.
How elegant is it? Oh my gosh. I do have this on right now, and I literally
Me too.
I just utterly in love with myself, and I'm just like, oh my gosh. And look, I don't just want to be here being like, oh my god, it smells so good. Da, 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 da. There are reasons why it smells so good. Like for me, the thing that made me buy it, because I want to buy things all the time, especially magical things. If someone's made something with magic, I need that. What pushed me to get it was the scents that you had used specifically, like the notes of rose, sandalwood, and jasmine. Like for me, obviously patchouli. Like there's something about these smells that for me, these are the smells that I always use when I'm doing my spiritual work. So
yeah, these are the smells of my altar.
These are the smells of my altar. So that was it. As soon as I put it on, I literally feel like it just triggers those memories for me. Like I'm in ceremony. There's something about the mix of sandalwood and rose. Like when I was in India. Actually, no, that's wrong. I first discovered the blends of sandalwood and rose when I was in India. But when I went to Egypt, I was talking to a perfumer or whatever, oil man there. And he was saying, he said, oh, what do you want to use? And I was like, oh, just give me some rose and some sandalwood. And he was like, oh, that's interesting. I see you like to do spiritual work with healing. And it was so interesting that he said that to me, because actually the places where I'd always worked with those mixed together, it was healing work. And so for me, there's just something about it that just brings me to that space. Like, and you're right, there's something with sense. Like when it comes to spirituality, I mean, there's loads and loads of stories that I've heard from different people who have That's how they know spirit is there, because they can smell the spirit. I know a qigong master who can literally summon smell, and these things I feel like are so important to pay attention to. We're aware of sound and how that can change your vibration and your consciousness. Smell does the exact same thing. Anyway, so I was very excited about this. I wasn't just like, let me just go and get some perfume. I was super excited about it. So beautiful. So obviously it's inspired by, which is another thing that I love, that it's inspired by the star, so the major arcana tarot card. Like, could you talk to us a little bit about that inspiration and how that links with how you created the perfume?
Yeah, so just to go back, start at the beginning of the whole adventure. We were just, Robert and I, we were chatting like we do. We're always chatting about everything all day long. And we were, one evening, the pandemic was in full swing. It was lockdown. I think it was the first one. It was autumn coming into winter, I think. And we were just chatting about the tarot projects, which was in full swing. And, I can't quite pinpoint the moment where we said, let's do a perfume and sense the deck, the box. And I just said, yeah, sure. I love perfume. I've always loved perfume. I've been wearing them since I was a child because my mother was big into scents, and she had her morning ritual. She always wore something. And I thought, okay, but I'm not a chemist, obviously, because in my mind, that's what a perfumer is. You're not an alchemist, you're a chemist because, well, that's what they are. They're in that lab and they have their tubes and they mix things. I thought, okay, it might be more complicated than I thought, but actually I discovered, no, you can go the more natural aromatherapy, holistic kind of route. I thought, okay, that's the route for me. So I went into that direction. And I thought, okay, how shall I start this? Because I want it to be a talismanic scent. This is for literally the object itself. It has to embody the spirit of the artist. It has to embody the object is going to scent. It has to be the whole package, and it has to match, the art, the aesthetic of the tarot. So I thought, great, that's going to be easy. Actually, no, it was much easier than I thought, because once I found the starting point, which was the star cards, and I picked the star because it was, well, for two reasons mainly. It was on the cover of the book. I thought, okay, maybe that's where I need to start. And also, if you're into surrealism, that Arcane 17 is a major work. Obviously, Breton is the Pope of surrealism, the founder of the movement. And the star cards is prominent in his work. It embodies quite a few things, actually. It's the morning star, it's also in the book the embodiment of his love, his companion at the time of the book was written, his companion and future wife, as it turns out. She is the star, she's Venus, she's Isis, she's all those things. Mm-hmm. And the book is also, it was written in the heat of the Second World War, and it's the culmination of Breton's interests and passion for all things, hermetic and occult, etc. So I thought, it's the star. That's the starting point. It's a no-brainer. Mm-hmm. So from there, I kind of drew into the. I took the esoteric approach. It was a work based on correspondences. So the tarot card, the planets, from there the plants, and from there the scent. So that's where jasmine comes in. It's a plant of the night. It blossoms at night. The scent comes out at night, and it's very feminine, and it's very magical. It's very feminist almost, Mm. And there's Kabbalah. So that's where you have the rose and the sandalwood combination that come into play. And after that, well, you switch to being a perfumer because you have your base, but then you have to see what works with those base notes and see what, well, it has to smell good because the correspondences on their own, they might work beautifully, they might not, you know. So that's when you do, well, that's where the alchemical process kicks in, and it was great. I mean, it was great fun. That was the fun part of it, really. That was the best part. And then you have to do the rest, which is, the paperwork, etc. Make sure, it doesn't trigger horrific allergies and so on. But I wouldn't bore you with that because that's not so interesting. But basically, that was it. That was the birth of Huit Etoiles, and the title obviously comes from the card because there's 8 stars. But I thought I'll put it in French because that's the nod to the French perfumery tradition. So I thought I'll just slip that in there. And
it does just sound better as well.
Yeah, it does. It does. English people need French. Yeah, names.
Yeah.
8 stars. Just
it's not the same.
It's not the same.
It sounded a bit flat, so I thought no. Put it in French, and then there you go. Et voila. So yeah.
Thank you for sharing that process with us.
Yeah.
Wow, you really poured so much of yourself and your passion into this. That makes it all the more special. All the more special.
I think it does, yeah. I mean, I'll be making, many more, but this one will always have a special place in my life as a perfumer and as an artist, I guess you can say that.
I love you. Oh, sorry, you go, Jay.
No, you go, Nikki.
So it's just, I love you talking about. Oh gosh, no, I lost my train of thought now because.
So you have a new fragrance, is that correct?
It's in the works, yes. It's it's this one here. So this is La Rose Secrète. This is the sample. So it's not quite finished because I'm quite happy with this one too. The original formula I did for the Eiffel Cahoon deck, which is this one here. So I'm doing a show and tell.
That's why we have you.
Yeah. So
Eiffel Cahoon deck.
So I did another perfume for this, and I went through a similar process with a few differences here. I did not pick I picked a card, but I picked it, as you do when you do a spread, when you do a reading. I literally just picked one, and it turned out to be. If I have it here. Oh, where have I put it? It was, if I'm not mistaken, the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords, which is this one. So I drew that from the pack, and that was the starting point. And just to give a tiny bit of backstory, Eiffel Cahoon was very drawn to the Order of the Golden Dawn, which, color obviously is Tara's color. Color was very important to her and very important to the order. So my starting point for the work with correspondences was to do with color. There are different scales of color with the Golden Dawn. There's 4 of them, and I picked one which is the King scale of color. That's just what it's called. And I looked at the dominant color, which is this dark emerald green, and I worked from there. And it'll be interesting to know that rose and sandalwoods are still there again, but I did a little tweak. Instead of using sandalwoods, I'm using amyris, which is a slightly softer, I guess, scent in comparison. So just to have something slightly different. And the rose obviously had to be there because it's the secret rose. This I think you will like. The reason why I've called it the secret rose in French once again is because in one of her books that she wrote quite late in her life, actually, the Sword of Wisdom, there is a poem right at the end, and I'll read you just the last paragraph, if I may.
Yes, please.
The title is called Elegy on the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, because Ethel Cahoon was not, she did not manage to join the order for various reasons, which I won't go into, but it was always a sort of, perhaps a sadness or a lack, something missing in her life. And this is basically a love letter, I would say, to the Golden Dawn. So the last words are, alas, for all her joys and pains, all her sincerity and pose, a quested treasure still remains, the perfume of a secret rose. So I thought, okay, I have to use that.
You have to make that. Yes.
I have to put that in the perfume because, again, it's a talismanic perfume. It's for the object itself, but it's also for the artist. And I think this is for Ethel Cahoon as well. Scent was important in the Golden Dawn. It was important to her and her art and her practice. So I'm going to put it in there for her. So that's the story for La Rose Secrète. And the first formula I did turned out to be horrifically expensive, because rose is very expensive. It's probably one of the most expensive essential oils you can use. And I foolishly had 3 or 4 different absolutes and oils in there. So I thought, I can't have a perfume that costs £400 a bottle. That's just insane. So I dialed it back, from 11 down to 5. Okay, just calm down. Have 1 rose instead of, half a dozen. But I'm very pleased with the results. There's also a little bit of frangipani in there, and which I didn't know this, but I found out this is where you see magic operating in the shadows. The Tree of Life, obviously, it's linked to Kabbalah, which again is a link to the Golden Dawn. And the scent of the frangipani is linked to the Tree of Life in Kabbalah. So I thought that's another, link there that I just stumbled upon. Wow. So there's a little bit of that in the perfume too.
I'm absolutely loving that you're taking this like esoteric first approach to creating these beautiful, beautiful scents. It just truly feels like, as a witch, this is made in your honor. I think it's so wonderful, so carefully considered.
Yeah, and I literally, like, when is it out? I'm so excited for it. Seriously.
Well, the plan for this winter, sort of December, when we're sort of, taking our foot off the pedal a little bit, is to get the paperwork and all the testing done for this formula, so that next year, I'm hoping, because the first anniversary, so to speak, of Maison Shehu will be sort of end of February. So I'm hoping that I will have it ready for then, and it'll be a good start, for the year. So that's the plan. Fingers crossed.
Well, I'm ready. I signed up to your mailing list yesterday. So I am ready. You can tell how excited I am about these things.
Yeah, well, thank you.
It's because I don't fully understand, but I have an inkling of an understanding at how difficult it is to create a perfume. I really wanted to, I went through a phase when I was kind of, at the beginning of my spiritual journey, where I was like, okay, I can't use a real perfume because they're bad for you, which I don't agree with. Like, obviously alcohol-based perfumes are a bit harsher, but I was like, I can't use those, so I'm gonna have to use the oils. So then I got a bit bored of just rolling oils on, and I wanted to start to figure out how to like make a spray. And I tell you what, I could not get that to smell like I wanted it to smell ever. And I just realized I probably didn't have,
Is
I can
that
enjoy said
standard spiritual slash witch journey of like,
it,
as soon as I've gone into the wild woods and making my life, I can't do the CK1 no more. It's
yeah,
not
I can't
me.
do that. I need to have like the sap from
Combine
a
all the
rose.
essential oils poorly.
Exactly. So I just get so excited about this because I'm just like, this is what I want. I can't do it. I'm happy with that. I'm fine. I've got other talents. But thank goodness for you.
Thank
Like,
goodness for
Thank you very
you.
much.
you know, and hearing your story and just like, it's just as you're talking, because obviously when we said, can we interview you, in my brain, you did this. This is what you did. You were a perfumer. Understanding you a bit more now, understanding actually that you're I feel like you, if I was going to label you, and I'm not big on giving labels, but I'm going to give you one, I would call you an alchemical artist. It's
Oof,
like, it's so
thank
clear
you.
through
Yeah,
Thank you very
everything that you
much.
that
do.
suits so
It's
much
all
more.
art.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's amazing. I love seeing
I'm
artists
happy to
who,
take that. Thank you.
yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. Yay.
it's just that ability to create from anything, so the inspiration of the poems and the cards and the journeys of other practitioners, the understanding of how the scent works and all of it, it's just amazing, even down to like, the marketing, the design of the box, the pictures that you decide. These are all, for me, this is all magic. This is all, like, I feel like any artist is a magician, really.
Yeah,
And that is, kind
absolutely.
of that. So yeah, anyway, sorry, I fangirl quite a lot, Aisha. So
No, we're
This is
here
good.
purely to fangirl on this show.
This is
basically.
very
Because
good.
I think there are big perfume houses who have like teams of hundreds of people, and
Hmm.
oh, I can't stand their friggin' adverts and
Yeah,
visuals half
well,
the time.
I know.
Um,
It's, since I've been doing this, and I haven't been doing it for very long, I'm really struggling to use the standard, so to speak, alcohol-based perfumes now, because
Mm.
although I love the scent still, because some of them I've loved for a good number of years, it just doesn't feel the same anymore.
yeah.
And also, I'm trying to push the eco-friendly, sustainable agenda here a little bit, because I'm thinking, if I'm going to make something,
Mm.
I need to make it right. And we're too far down the line now to not care about these issues. I mean, with the planet
100%.
literally, cooking as we speak. I mean, you can't,
Mhm.
even as a very small producer of anything, you still have to think of these things. So,
Yeah.
the bottle, the cork, oh my God, that little bit of cork, that was the most painful thing to find. I didn't
Really?
find it.
Really?
I had to, yeah, it's been made to measure for this bottle. I found
Okay.
somebody in Portugal, because that's where the cork trees are, really.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Um, and I had to order 5,000 of them.
Oh.
I'm good for a few years, yeah.
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 I'm all good. I'm all
Im-
set. Just don't discontinue the bottle. Is what I ask.
100%. Well, this is, there's a little bit of me that's like, maybe the universe has manifested that at your minimum of 5,000 sales in the next year. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe that would be
Thing.
good. It's a long way to go, but yeah.
Don't worry, I'm going to be pushing those up, babes. I've got loads of people who need
Excellent.
this, and I'm on the list for the next one. I wanted to ask you, because I didn't see these on your website. Oh, sorry. But you gave these to me as a free gift when I bought the perfume, and literally they also made me so happy. But if I'm honest, like, so happy that I can't use them because they're so pretty. I don't know if you can see this.
I've got one here actually.
So, oh, there we go. Moon wax and
Um,
the World Tarot card. Don't know if you can see that with the light. What? Okay.
yeah, I know. So I
Am
made
I
the moon
so beautiful?
faces. Um,
I
no,
tell
they're
you.
not on the website at the moment, but there will be
Okay.
at some point.
Okay. I was going to say, because I will not be able to use this until I know I can get more. That's basically
Yeah,
what my
yeah.
thought process is.
I can send you some. Don't worry. I've got
Oh my God.
these were these were made for. I made these again, quite accidentally, I wanted to make something for the Magical Women Conference, and I thought, well, I'll make them tarot card shaped, shall I? Because yeah, why not? It makes sense to give to people who buy the perfume as a thank you, and also it was something nice to have to for the occasion. It's the first big event we've been to since COVID. I thought, you know what, just make something. I've got quite a few left over, so I'm going to give those to friends and etc. So if you do decide to use that one, I've got a few in stock.
Okay, fine, great. Because look, I
also your guarantee.
I know, I love wax melts. I love wax melts. I prefer to use them now over oils, actually, a lot of the time in my little thing. But yeah, it's I can't. Usually they just look like a chocolate bar, and my struggle is not to eat it if it looks too good. But like, there's no issue with burning it. These ones, I was literally yesterday like, I'm just gonna get my cheap wax melts out because this is too pretty to use. But no, I will melt them, and then I will let you all know, lovely listeners.
JJ. I think we've had a visit from JJ. JJ the dog, no relation.
Okay. Oh.
I've got my cat next to me who every so often I have to turn off the microphone because she starts snoring really loudly. She's a 15-year-old cat. She's getting very, very old. Oh.
Yeah, sorry. At the moment, I feel like a single dog mom. Oh gosh.
Okay.
Single dog mom.
Dark now.
Where are you located?
We're in Somerset. We're in.
Oh, nice.
Do you know where Taunton is?
I've heard of it. I've never visited.
So we're around there.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that part of the world so much. I'm coming to visit you. That's it. I'll get my wax melts in person.
Well, yeah, no, both of you are very welcome to come. There's loads of lovely walks here and little pubs, and yeah, we've got Glastonbury. That's not too far either. So that's where I go when I don't buy candles anymore. I make them, but that's where I used to buy them.
So you're in quite a witchy part of the country, really.
Did you?
It is.
Did you just say you make candles? I'm so sorry. Where's my candles? I need these as well. I can't wait. I feel like over the next little while, we're going to start seeing so many offerings.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is one I made. It's a bit broken. I twisted it too hard, but this is
that's beautiful.
This is a 3-headed wax, beeswax, twisty candle. I don't know.
Twisty candle, love it.
I put it on my little.
So that's what you put on your altar?
Yes. I put it right next to it, and I've got my little baby orchid there, and I've got my perfume.
You put up a really beautiful picture on your stories. Was it yesterday? Of
yes.
Your altar space.
Yeah.
And it just looks so pristine and meaningful, and just like a real space for contemplation and ceremony.
Yeah.
And it's all the better hearing that you have these like handmade candles, these handmade items on there.
Oh, yeah.
Bring in spirit.
I love all that. I mean, because I work from home every day, and I've been doing that for quite some time now. This is pre-COVID. This is a long time coming. But so I have an altar literally just right here. I mean, it's literally there. So it's always next to me. And there's another one there in the corner. That's the ancestor and the family altar. So that one I don't show ever online. Yeah. This one you will see just little bits. But yeah, I have the candle. I have objects that I've collected during my travels, and I have the little cauldron in which I burn the wax melts. So I'm, yeah, I mean, this is my cozy space, my safe space where I work, where I spend a lot of time. So it has to be cozy and, comforting. Yeah. Yeah. And there's lots of objects from my childhood. I mean, there's a paperweight that my dad got me when I was 9. He got it in Abuja in Nigeria. There's his leather box where I keep little bits and bobs. So yeah, no, I mean, oh, and this, I have to show you this because this is what started the journey. I don't know if you can see. You can see the little face on there wearing a head wrap. This is my Hausa grandmother's oil perfume, and it's all I have from her. Literally, the only objects I have from her. I didn't have a photo. I didn't have anything. I just have that. And
Wow.
this is the reason why I did an oil perfume as opposed to a standard um, alcohol-based one. Because aside from the more eco-friendly and skin-friendly aspect of it, there's also the traditional side that I really, really loved. And I thought this will be a good nod to my grandmother, whom I never met. So yeah,
I got chills. It's so serendipitous that you've got this perfume bottle
yeah,
and then
It's
creating
amazing.
your own perfume. It's like you're embodying or channeling
yeah,
parts of
yeah, yeah.
her. That's so beautiful, so
It's
meaningful.
going, it's going. I think it's like going full circle. Really, it's
It
the thing
is.
I kind of tied everything together. So
And you
yeah,
said the oils are more traditional.
yes, yes, they are because I mean, perfume originally is incense. I mean, the word means through smoke. That's literally what it means in Latin. So it's not something people wore. It was, yeah, yeah, yeah. So it was a way. It was a spiritual religious practice. You burned incense because it was the way of communicating with the gods when the smoke went up into the skies, into the ether, and that's what you did. So rituals, ceremonies. Um, I don't know about baptisms and such, but I know in funerals that's what you did. You burnt rosemary and you burnt all sorts of things, and you burnt incense, and then it slowly progressed into a more sort of aromatherapy based process, and then it turned into the perfumes that we wear now, which a lot of people wear for glamour purposes, I guess. But the oil perfumes, in the Islamic faith, yes, absolutely, it's very spiritual based. In the little talk I gave for the Magical Women podcast, I talked about how it's used in well, not just in Nigeria, but in the Islamic world at large.
I know
Um,
oud is very popular. I know that um, I grew up in East London, which is quite an Islamic area, and
mm,
you will walk down like Green Street and you'll smell a lot of women wearing oud.
yeah,
And
yes,
it's a
yeah,
really beautiful smell that you
it's
get a
absolutely
lot of in that area.
gorgeous. Yeah, and it's just divine. It's the tree it comes from. I think it's called something like I don't know. It's named after the gods, and you can see why. I mean, it's quite a precious, precious oil and precious tree. But yeah, so I thought, you know what, I'm more inclined to do something more traditional.
Yeah.
When it comes to scent. So that was I felt comfortable doing that rather than an alcohol spray. It just it didn't fit with the whole esoteric,
Yeah. Well,
grounded,
this feels quite ceremonial,
natural
this idea of like
vibe.
anointing yourself
Oh
before
yeah.
ceremony. And
Absolutely,
you've just
absolutely.
given me so much to think about here in terms of like my daily ceremony of getting ready and
Mm.
being that sort of altar that is perfume, that is
Mm.
through smoke,
Yeah.
bringing in spirit. Um, oh, oh, thank you so much.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you for for having me.
No, it's
Can
just in that I just want to take that away. I mean, I'm taking all of this away, but
I?
that is definitely going to change my whole approach to
Mm.
what I'm doing with scent in the morning.
Yeah, I think you'll find that once you start using the oils, it will change for sure the way you go through your ablutions in the morning, if that's how you start your day, or how you just go through your day, and you'll start noticing things, and you'll start smelling things differently and wearing
Mm.
them differently for sure. Yeah.
Oh, I have a massive favor to ask you, Aisha.
Okay.
I don't know if you're thinking about doing this, but like I'm about to go traveling for a little
Uh-huh.
while. I'm very upset because I'm not going to be able to bring a perfume with me. I don't know if it will spill in my bag. So, would you make me? I will pay you.
Yeah.
A roller.
Yeah.
Just my travel ones. I have my travel altar bag,
Uh-huh.
and the amount of stuff I have just spilt in there and ruined everything. But I need to have these scents with me, like wherever I go. I actually was really thinking about yesterday. I might do it, like transfer it over, but like, yeah, maybe something to travel with.
I have.
I like how
I
Nikki's giving you all of the products you
Sorry.
have to
Um,
manifest her in action.
oh well, I've been thinking of that because there's a few things I need to work on. I need to change the packaging, and I need to make like a travel friendly version of Huit Etoiles and of any other perfume I make. So I've been doing this, which
Oh,
is the solids, is the balm, is the solid perfume. So I can send you one of these.
oh
Um,
wow.
it'll
Yeah, you've got there we
Yes.
go, Nikki.
fit in an
Okay,
envelope. You can have it
I
tomorrow.
I am very happy. Oh my gosh. Like literally, you don't know. Was having a I was like, I'm gonna have to take my like whatever, I don't know, whatever spray perfume I
You're
have.
gonna have to buy one of those terrible American ones over
American
there.
ones. Ugh. No. Oh my gosh, amazing. Okay, great.
Yeah. So there you go. So
Oh,
I've been testing this one. I gave one to a friend yesterday. She said, "Oh my God, this is so creamy and wonderful." I thought, "Yeah, I thought so."
mm,
So this is just blended with organic beeswax. So
mm,
again, very eco-friendly. The texture, I think, is very nice. Although
mm,
it's solid, it's still. I mean, it will melt on your skin.
yeah.
You don't need to use tons of it because it's still quite. I haven't diluted it to death because I still want it to smell quite strong. And so yeah, you can rub it on your pulse points. You can rub it on if you have objects, will probably stick better than the oil if you do anoint things with the
Mm.
perfume. So yeah,
That,
it's
oh my
on
gosh.
its way to you.
See, ask and you shall receive, guys. This is how magic works. And I tell you
Exactly.
what, like the waxes, the perfume waxes, I absolutely love, and I literally can't hardly ever find them anywhere. So oh, you are my dream, Aisha. Thank you so much.
You're very
Okay, so I feel like I've got really overexcited, so I'm very sorry, guys.
No,
But
it's a good thing. No, no, please don't censor yourself. It's very good.
okay.
It makes me want to do more and just, get on with things because, yeah, there's other perfumes. I want to do the scented candles. I want to do the solids, the perfume balms. I want to do the
Mm.
wax smells. I just have to get off my butt and just do it.
Well, look, you have us literally there. We're first in the queue. Afro Animist podcast is obsessed. So, I, it's because I'm sorry, I've gotten so excited and ridiculous. I wanted to bring it back and ask you a little bit before we go about the Folger Press because, so were you the co-founder of the Folger Press? as well, or
Fulgur Press was founded in 1992 when I was 12.
okay, all right, sorry, babe.
So it was there, on the astral plane. But no, so I do things Fulgur. And at the moment, obviously, aside from the two perfumes here, I'm working on proofreading a translation of the next big, huge project that Fulgur is going to launch next year or the year after. It's the first English translation of L'Art Magique of André Breton. It's never been done because it's quite a complicated a book from a publishing admin point of view. Yeah. So I'm doing the proofreading. It's been translated. It's gone through the hands of a very, very talented editor, and I'm doing the proofreading. Yeah. And, I finished that I think last week, and I saw this morning he sent me the email saying, okay, I've got a few comments, so I just have to go through that. Maybe today, maybe next week, actually.
So yeah, this is an esoteric text which is being translated from French into English.
It's Magic Art. The book is called Magic Art. It's part of a series that was published back in the 50s, and this one is on Magic Art. So yeah, it's going to be it's a big thing. And a bit like the Carrington Project, it's going to have several elements. And I'm thinking of creating a perfume for it. It will not scent the book because that's just too difficult. But I think I'll just make one, and it'll be something different because there's a lot of tribal art material within the book. I think I'll do something a bit more raw, in terms of the scent. Yeah. So I'll depart a little bit from the floral and woody notes and do something a bit more, primeval, if I can describe it as such.
Ooh.
So that will be the third, art inspired scent, and then I'll move on to a different series of perfumes, if I can call it that. So yeah, that's what we're doing at the moment. Yeah.
I just love how much you're up to, and yeah, please do everything you can to follow, find out what she's doing, prod her periodically. We'll do it too. So we have these new perfumes.
Yeah. I mean,
tell us, where can we find you, Aisha?
Well, I'm on Instagram, really, primarily. Yes. I have a page on Facebook, but I've linked it to Instagram. So whatever I post on IG, it will go on Facebook. I'm not a huge fan of Facebook, for various reasons. So I prefer Instagram, for sure. I try to post something, not just for the hell of it. So, I started off with the intention of having, a fragrant Friday post every Friday. It's not every Friday, as it turns out.
They never work out these things. No.
Because I don't want, it's not like every Friday I've got some exciting, fantastic thing to share. And I don't want to post a pretty picture for the hell of it. So I try to, give some news. I was probably a bit more active a little bit earlier in the year because Maison Shehu was launched in February, and then there was quite a bit of momentum, and then that kind of calms down. But I'm on there. I'm always checking what people are doing. I'm always so I work from home. It's very easy to do that. Just look at the phone.
You're the boss. No one can tell you off.
Between emails, I'm just seeing what's going on. So I'm on there. You can join. You can email, message me on there. That's not a problem. I will pick it up unless there's some sort of weird bug on there, which sometimes happens. I'll see a message 3 weeks later.
Yeah,
there's what's going on, but yeah, the website. There is a newsletter on www.maisonshehu.com. So if you sign up to the newsletter, you will not be bombarded at all. It's literally, I launch a product, I send you an email, and that's it. Because again, there's too much data already, shoved in our faces. We don't need more. So it's really on a, need to know basis. I'm doing something and you need to know about it. And that's it. I'm not gonna, I'm not doing a blog. I'm not telling you my life story. I'm just, if there's something happening, I'll send an email to announce.
I like a calm approach.
Yeah,
because let's just take it easy. Life is stressful. The world is a bit cray at the moment. Let's just keep it simple.
Take it easy.
Just chill.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Totally agreed. Okay, so we will put links to all of those to Aisha's handle and website, so you can go sign up, know when the things are coming out, check out the stuff that she has already. And yeah, I just want to say, it's like, thank you so much, Aisha, for joining us today and talking. Like, it's so good. And as always, we meet these amazing people, and I just want to keep talking to you. But I feel like, you said you wanted to go for a walk in the woods, which I'm also going to do now. So
it's sunny for now, so we should.
For now, exactly. So get out there and do it.
Yeah.
All right. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining us this week on the Afro Animist podcast. Catch us next week and check out all of Aisha's stuff online. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And that's a wrap, guys. Thank you, beautiful being of the multiverse, for joining us on the Afro Animist podcast.
If you want to get stuck into the conversation or have a question about anything we speak about here, join our mailing list and find us on our socials.
On TikTok and Instagram, find us at the Afro Animist podcast.
On Twitter, you can find us at Afro Animist. If you're listening to us on Spotify or Apple Music, you can also find this talk on YouTube. Just search for us and we will pop up as if by magic.
If you're loving what we're talking about here, share, like, and subscribe. And remember to leave us a thumbs up or 5-star rating on your favourite platform.